Okay guys, let's talk about the Falklands. Now that the deranged Donald Trump has spit his dummy out over the UK not joining in Israel's war against Iran that America is fighting in on behalf of that country in the Middle East, and the UK isn't trotting along behind like a poodle. President Trump has said that he's not too interested in our country's historic rights to the Falkland Islands. This means that Argentina is starting to rattle their saber again, starting to beat the drums. They haven't learnt anything from history, have they? I watched a documentary the other day of the 1982 Falklands War. What an achievement that was. The senior American admiral thought that the UK could never retake the Falklands, and he had to go public afterwards, say how wrong he was, change the old doctrine of the American Navy and their attitude towards Harrier jump jets and their usefulness. They ordered 500 immediately. Our Harrier pilots showed just how good they were. Poor Argentinian troops on the Falklands didn't really have a chance. They were mainly conscripts. Our forces were the best. The Scots Guards, the Gurkhas, Royal Marine Commandos and the SAS. Our Navy, they were trained in damage control, continued to fight a ship even when badly damaged. We'll talk about that war in a second. First, let's have a look at what Argentina is saying about the Falklands. They're saying that the Falklands is their territory colonized by the British. Well, it's a bit rich, isn't it? Argentina talking about colonization, because Argentina was colonized in the 1500s by the Spanish. 1536, 1580, Buenos Aires was founded. 1765, Britain claims the Falkland Islands. Argentina isn't even a country at that stage. Spain, 9 years later, after Britain has settled the Falkland Islands, they put their viceroy in there. 1810, the Argentinians start to revolt against Spain. 1816, Argentina becomes a country and declares itself independent of Spain. So the British were in the Falkland Islands before Argentina was even a country. Argentina used to be really successful for a long, long time, mainly as a result of European immigration. It became one of the richest nations on earth. I don't know, perhaps as the European presence got diluted, the economy started to collapse, didn't it? And things haven't gone much better since. Anyhow, 1982, the Falkland War. Our Navy sunk the Belgrano. They didn't like that. They should have took that as a warning. That's a photograph of a newspaper I still have upstairs. I kept a copy. Every time we lost a ship, I took a copy. I kept a copy of the newspaper. The story was reported on. They're still upstairs. I'd left the Navy by then. I had tears in my eyes every time one of our ships was lost. You will have to have lived aboard a warship to know what the conditions are like on there. That's the Sheffield. I remember the Coventry as well. One ship that got sunk that really touched me was this one. That's HMS Antelope. During my time in Plymouth, I used to drink in a pub on Union Street. I was on board HMS Kedleston. She'd just been commissioned. She was being refitted before we became fishery protection. And so we used to drink in this pub on Castle Street. Sorry, on Union Street in Plymouth. The pub was the Castle. The landlady's name was Bet. She was a lovely lady. I remember the welcome she gave my parents when they came down to see us off on a voyage. She made them really welcome. Well, there was only about 20 of us crew, and we used to drink in the Castle. Every pub in Plymouth would be popular by different ships. Each ship would virtually have their own pub, and the Castle was the pub where the crew of HMS Kedleston liked to drink. Of course, we were only a small crew, not enough of us really to fill the pub, and so we shared the pub with the crew of HMS Antelope, and we got to know the boys on there quite well. Probably not the same crew who went out in 1982. I mean, I'm talking year of 69. But that's why I always remember the Antelope. And she was sunk. Well, what would I do? What would a real government do if Argentina fancied their chances again? Well, back then we had a navy. We had 2 carriers. We had not countless, but we had frigates and destroyers. We couldn't even get there today. We couldn't even get there to defend the Falklands. So what would I do? Well, what have we got? We've still got submarines. Get submarines over there. The slightest move towards the Falkland, sink the ships. Yeah. And if that doesn't work, I would take out the big stick and say, land 1 soldier on the Falklands and Buenos Aires will vanish off the face of the earth. Let's see what they say then. And if the world screams, let them. Just say, we don't care. The Falklands and the people on the Falklands are British citizens. We will defend them. And we don't care how many Argentinians have to die to defend it. Yeah, we don't. That's how I defend the Falklands. But you need politicians with balls and willpower to do it. We're still a nuclear power. Yeah, let's use that big stick if needed. I think I would have preferred to have nuked Buenos Aires than see the Antelope and the Sheffield go down. Okay guys, you've been listening to Paul Morris, the Green Arrow, thinking.